Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on the Supergirl movie because we just got some news in regards to a potential casting. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. So we have a bunch of DCU topics to talk about in today's video, but first things first, we're going to be talking about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow because we know they are ramping up to try and start production. It's apparently been delayed to the start of next year, which is okay because they were already way further along the line than any of us expected if they were to shoot in the fall that was initially reported. But now it seems, based on recent reports, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is going to start filming in January. That means they have time to do casting, they have time to get it right, and we know that Craig Giuseppe is on board. He is directing the film. We know we've got Supergirl already in the form of Millie Alcock, and now they have to cast the other characters, and we've talked about those other important characters in previous videos, but it seems, according to Real Film, and again take it with a grain of salt because this is not Variety or Deadline, it's not a Hollywood trade that has the best reliable information, so take it with a grain of salt because this could turn out to just be a rumor. However, it's definitely my duty to report any kind of casting to do with the Supergirl movie. Okay, so as I said, this is from Real Film. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go check it out. But the title of the article is this: Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Toby Kebbell circling DC Studios' pick. So Toby Kebbell is an actor who is in talks to join the cast of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Maybe you guys know Toby from For All Mankind. He's shown up in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He's also been in Warcraft, Fantastic Four, and a lot of other projects. So he's been around Hollywood. He's not a well-known name, but he is at least a significant casting if he were to show up. And so let's read the article. So this is what it says. Exclusive. Toby Kebbell is in early talks to join the cast of DC Studios' film Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Real Film has learned, and a representative from DC Studios has yet to comment. So they go on to say this: if Kebbell signs on, he will star alongside Millie Alcock, who is playing the titular character Supergirl. Plot details and the specifics of Kebbell's characters are currently being kept under wraps, and Craig Giuseppe is directing the film off of a script by Anna Noguera. Production is currently slated to begin soon, and the film is set to bow on June 26, 2026. And so the upcoming Supergirl film is described by Gunn as, and just bear with me for those of you guys who don't know what the Supergirl film is about, a big science fiction epic and a beautiful star-spanning tale adapts the 2022 comic book series by Tom King and Bill Quist Everly. And it follows a hardened Kara Zor-El who, after witnessing the destruction of Krypton, travels through the cosmos with her dog Krypto to escape the shadow of her cousin Superman. Along the way, she teams up with an alien girl named Ruthie who seeks revenge for her father's death. Gunn has emphasized that this version of Supergirl is much more hardcore than previous portrayals like Melissa Benoist's Supergirl or Helen Slater's Supergirl or even Sasha Calle's Supergirl in the DCEU. And so that is the report that Toby Kebbell, who is a relatively well-known actor, is in early talks to play a character in the film. Now, this could be a relatively unknown background character, however, he is a decent actor, and I would say I get the impression just from hearing this that if he is actually involved and they are looking to cast him, he's very likely to play the villain of the film, that being Krem the Hunter. So let me give you a little description of what Krem is like in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow in the comics. So Krem is a mass murderer, he is a bounty hunter, he kills for money, and he has no remorse at all. He is pretty much your typical bounty hunter. And so he gets involved with Supergirl after killing Ruthie's dad. So Ruthie is the alien girl who is going to be teaming up alongside Supergirl, so that's another important casting that they have to do sometime very soon. So start expecting to hear about castings potentially between like 14 and 18, maybe that's the age range that they would go for. And so they really need to cast someone who is able to get into nitty gritty and be a grim character. Like, Krem is not likable at all. He has no redeeming qualities, and as James Gunn described, this version of Supergirl is much more hardcore, and that's because of Krem. because in the comics he is completely brutal and he has no remorse for anyone, that being humans, animals, or anything. He will just kill anything that's in his way, and he'll have literally no feelings about it. So you need an actor that can really tap into that, as the character is really a despicable person. And so I don't know too much about Toby myself. Like, I've watched some projects that he's in, like Fantastic Four, like the Planet of the Apes films, but I don't specifically remember who exactly he was playing in them. So I'm just gonna have to trust if they actually end up casting him as Krem, or potentially as a new character that they potentially make for the film, because there's not many main characters in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It's mainly those three characters, including Supergirl, and you also have Crypto, who is in the comic book as well. So those are the important characters, and I do think if they're looking to cast him as anyone, it will be for the villain of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So again, take it with a grain of salt. This is not from Variety or The Hollywood Reporter or somewhere like that. This is from a source that can be right, can be wrong. So let's move on to the next main topic. This is still DCU related, and this is to do with Booster Gold. Obviously, Booster Gold is one of the upcoming TV shows that is really going to be a big thing. Well, you would hope. And James Gunn has recently commented on a post that went out that was about the creatives that were involved in the show. And James has confirmed that they are still working on Booster Gold, but production isn't imminent. It's not one of the first shows or the first films that's going to go into production. Something like Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow and something like Lanterns is way more likely to start first. That's as far as we know. And so James has said that the story/posting was completely false, and he was talking in regards to some creatives being involved, that being Jeff Fradley and John Carceri. Now, I probably pronounced their names wrong, but that was the supposed report, and it's true according to James Gunn that this is actually false. And also, apparently, Danny McBride, who previously worked on a lot of comedies, he's an actor as well, and then he's also worked on the Halloween franchise recently, so he's a pretty big deal. And so apparently those creatives will no longer be involved, or they were never involved in Booster Gold, and that report was actually false. I didn't cover that originally when it came out, but I believe it was recently, and so it's good that James has come out and debunked it. However, DC Film News apparently say McBride may be involved down the line in some capacity, but I don't know where they got that information from. But as far as we know, these guys aren't involved. It's going to be a different creative team working on Booster Gold, and they're probably going to get them together relatively soon, but their main focus right now at DC Studios is Supergirl. It's Peacemaker that's currently filming, then it's going to be Waller and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow next up. And so the description that they initially gave for the Booster Gold series goes like this. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to the present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on a HBO Max series. So that's how it was initially described by James Gunn when the first slate was announced for DC Studios' Chapter 1. And so Booster Gold is definitely going to be a show to look out for, but for now they are working on it, but it's not going to be coming anytime soon. Okay, so let's move on to the last main topic. So I saw this a couple of days ago, wanted to bring it up because you guys know I'm really excited for the new Lanterns show, and this comes after Lanterns has officially moved to HBO. It's going to be an HBO show rather than strictly an HBO Max show or a Max show, and that's because Warner Brothers is changing their strategy with the shows that they're putting a lot of money into. And Lanterns seemingly is going to have a fairly big budget, and it's going to be an important series in the DCU. And so they also announced the creatives working on it behind the scenes, that being Chris Mundy, Damon Lindelof, and Tom King. Those guys are huge, especially Chris Mundy and Damon Lindelof in the world of TV. They've been involved in some of the biggest TV projects, and Tom King is the king of comic books as of recently. Obviously, he wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. He's wrote a lot of other comic book series, but he is one of James Gunn's main comic book consultants on a lot of these projects. So he's going to be very important, and it seems he's actually having a bigger role to do with Lanterns than he is with some of the other projects in the DCU. And so there was this picture on the screen here with all of the creatives and behind the scenes people meeting up at a restaurant the other day. There's actually a lot of them. Not going to list out everyone's names because if I'm honest, I don't know all of them, but they will presumably make up a large chunk of the Lanterns team. So it's just really good to see that they're all together, and it seems things are moving along really well for Lanterns. And as far as we know, Lanterns is going to be one of the first DCU shows to come out. Obviously Creature Commandos will come first, and you will have other continuations like Peacemaker Season 2 and presumably Waller. However, I should say about Waller, the writing isn't finished and potentially Lanterns is further along down the line, so maybe Lanterns will start first before Waller. I reckon Lanterns could actually start at a similar time to Supergirl at the start of next year, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they do a similar situation to what went on with Peacemaker Season 2 and Superman, because they were shooting simultaneously. So that's just a theory of mine, but what do you guys think about all of this? Let me know down in the comments below. That pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.